Hello and welcome to this episode of The Next Step. This is the first episode of The Next Step. I'm going to film it by myself here, just kind of chat through why I call it The Next Step, what the focus of this podcast is, a little bit about my background, who I am, and almost every other episode will have a guest. The whole center of this and the point of this podcast is to talk about fatherhood, talk about parenting and fatherhood, and my whole vision with the Fathers Guild and this podcast and all of this stuff is just like, I want to leave this experience of fatherhood with no regrets. And I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, when it comes to being a parent, you know, I have things that have worked for me. I have things that I've failed on. But if I can interview more fathers and more parents and just chat on what they're doing and how they're experiencing fatherhood, I think it'll be beneficial to myself as well as create a space for more fathers to talk on this whole thing. I'm calling the podcast The Next Step, mainly because I'm a big nerd. There is one of my all-time favorite books and a character in it who is a father and man who's kind of like coming through his own journey in the book. He has this series of lines that his name is Dalinar, and he has these set of lines. One says, "I will take responsibility for what I've done. If I must fall, I will rise each time a better man." And then he follows it up with, "The most important step a man can take, it's not the first one, is it? It's the next one, always the next step." And those sayings and this character always ring true for me. And that next step, the idea that like, no matter what we do, because we're going to make these mistakes and we're going to do all these things, the most important step we can take is the next one. It doesn't even matter what direction it's in, whether it's backwards or sideways or forwards. It's just take the next step. And I am firmly of the belief that I'm a good father, and that anyone out there who cares and is paying attention, you're also a good father. But being a good father doesn't mean we can't also be better and take more from this experience. So this podcast is centered around exactly that. Just getting fathers on here, chatting with fathers, chatting with other parents too, maybe couples as well. I've had podcasts in the past. My wife and I actually had a parenting podcast a long time ago called The Tribe Life, and we interviewed parents and chatted with them about what they were doing. It was actually quite fun. So I'm not new to podcasting. I am new to wanting to do this by myself and wanting to do this with fathers specifically. My area of expertise in my actual profession is health and wellness. I've done fitness and CrossFit and nutrition for years and years. I don't really have much of a desire to make this anything about that. This is all fatherhood and kind of that space, because while I'm an expert in health and fitness, I'm by no means an expert in parenting. In parenting, I have 4 sons. I have a 12-year-old, a 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and all boys, so I can only speak to the boy experience. I have a super amazing wife who I'll likely podcast with a bit, bring her on here and have some conversations. And I live in Santa Cruz, California, up in the mountains. My actual profession, what I do for work, is I consult with gyms and coaches and help coaches make better experiences for members. And I've done that for a very long time. I've coached for a very long time. I've for years competed in CrossFit. My wife and I actually met at the CrossFit Games. We were both competitors, and we both did well one year and trained together before the games and ended up falling in love. And that was 2009. So we've been together ever since. It's coming up on 15 years now. Yeah, I think with this whole podcast, I just want to have these conversations with men, have these conversations with parents, and just see what we can do to learn as much as we can about what other people are doing and the journeys they've been on, and just talk shop more than anything else. I think it's gonna be super fun, but I also am, wary of how much time and effort will go into this. My goal is about 1 episode a week if possible, so 4 episodes a month. We'll see how long that lasts. I have a good solid list of amazing people I've met throughout my life that I can bring on here and chat about what they're doing in fatherhood. They all have their own kind of unique experiences. But if you hear of anyone out there that you think would be really good for this, please let me know. I'd love to bring on some people. Other than that, that's all I got. Look for the first episode coming out here pretty soon. I've got to film a few episodes. Eventually, I want to be able to do a live episode where you can comment in, and if we have like a group of people who want to participate in that and ask questions and do this fatherhood stuff, I think that's going to be the direction I want to take it. But I'm always open to suggestions for things that you'd like to hear or people that you'd like to have on from within this community being the fatherhood community. And yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to putting some more stuff out there. I've actually filmed an episode or two already. I actually filmed an episode a while back with a woodworking guy I met here on Instagram. He and I disagreed on a comment thread. And so I brought him on just to chat, to have that opposing perspective. And it was actually a great chat. I just haven't had the ability to download and put that anywhere. So you might see that one coming out here pretty soon. Other than that, look forward to putting some content out and taking the next step. We'll see you soon and post some episodes, ideally starting every Monday, and go from there. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Next Step. If you'd like to rate us on iTunes or Spotify, that would be awesome. If not, we totally understand. If you want to check out any of our merch, you can go to thefathersguild.com, where you can pick up some awesome t-shirts or anything else that we have for offer there at the moment. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to an episode. And if you thought it was worthy, please share it with other fathers that you think might benefit from having conversations around fatherhood. Thank you again for your time, and we will see you on the next episode.